Details throughout that game which Thomas Tuchel will definitely look at with the team and try and improve on, because as Joe said, it's not a disaster at all. We'll qualify for the next round, so it's just there's things when we get into the later stages of the groups we need to improve and make sure we're better.
You said little details, and we saw pre-match those scenes of Jed Spence being shouted at by Thomas Tuchel in training, and then we saw him trying to kind of direct him in game today, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. I think at times there was a bit too much rotation, but then what we see in the game now is fullbacks coming inside a lot. So if you look at Jed Spence here, so he plays the ball inside, and now Bellingham and Rice are in good positions. This is where you want your attacking players, in good positions to attack the back line. So Jed Spence comes into Declan Rice's position here, and now Declan Rice he sees him, so he's got a decision to make. So Declan Rice should go onto the top line and then create more space for Spence as he's got in there, but he doesn't. He comes short to get on the ball, and now you lose that attacking player in them attacking areas. So I think, and you look at Thomas Tuchel here, he's shouting at him. He wants him out wide, he doesn't want him in them positions where Declan Rice is. So now the difference here is Declan Rice is in a position.
So what you want him here?
Yes, so Declan Rice is in a good position. Jed Spence runs with energy. Now Declan Rice attacks the back line, and now all of a sudden England's in the penalty box and they get opportunities to shoot from the edge of the box. So we get a good chance, we get a shot off. So just by squeaking them position, Jed Spence realising Declan Rice is in there, I don't need to be in there. But if he does go in there, which can happen, Declan Rice, I think, then has to say, right, I'm going forward. Against Ghana, who was sat back, you don't need to be coming back and getting the ball off your centre-backs. You have to keep more players in the box.
The only thing I would say to that, you remember many times when we talked about Kieran Trippier playing on that left-back position, and sometimes it's not natural. Yes, the manager has said to him what he wants him to do, and he wants him to overlap, but maybe he's not as comfortable as he wants to be in terms of going down the line on his left foot. You see on the other side, everyone wants to come back and then go on their preferred foot. But in terms of his energy and what he needs to do and the position he needs to go in, I totally agree with it. It's just sometimes when you're a fullback in those positions, I know he can play left and I know he can play right, but on his left foot, it might not be as comfortable if it was on the other side.
I completely agree, but that's where Anthony Barry said at half-time, patience. That's where, if you lose patience, you end up going into other players' positions. So I think keeping that patience, that's what he means in terms of staying in your position. When the ball comes down your side, use your energy to go forward. And Thomas Tuchel recognised that. He brought O'Reilly on, looked a lot more balanced. Madueke went on the left, got a couple of good crosses in the box. So I think he got the balance right in that period. But I just think when you've got a fullback coming into a number 10's position and number 10 coming to get the ball for centre-backs, you lose. You've got a fullback in the attacking area and your attacking players near your own goal, so it doesn't make sense to me. I think you have to have your attacking players near the goal.
You mentioned Madueke, and let's just pick up on that, because there was kind of movement with Madueke within the game, wasn't, to try and get the best out of him. We saw in the first half him just getting in on the outside was what we wanted him to do, and towards the end of the first half he did.
Yeah, no, I think you want your wide players to.
Okay, can we just pause it there? I think it's pause it there. What you're saying there, you just want him to be in that situation there, but you want him to be more direct and go down the outside?
Yeah, well, what I was saying first half is about Rashford, a left footer or right footer on the right side. But look at Madueke here. Now he's going down the outside. Now you've got players in the box. He gets a great ball into the box, and you get an opportunity. So I think having a left foot on the left and a right footer on the right against a low block is more effective for me.
Why do you think he then took him out after, though, and brought Rashford on?
Yeah, he did. I think he's probably tired, and he actually didn't have the best of games. But
he seemed like he was at his freest when he was put on that left-hand side.
100%.
And he seemed like he could cause Ghana as much danger. So I think Thomas Tuchel will have loads to think about from that game. And there was so much in-game tinkering. Like, we're not used to that as an England team. So many things change. People switching sides, coming into the positions. So there was a lot mentally going on for those England players there, and they got there eventually, didn't they? But it just was a little bit slow to get there.
But I think what I said before the game about Tuchel's team talk being simple and not overcomplicated, sometimes on the pitch as well, that's what you need to do. So we've seen, since Pep Guardiola's come be in the Premier League, we've seen lots of rotation and lots of players interchanging positions. But sometimes you're better saying to a player, stay in your position. Make the pitch big, have wide players out wide, get it out wide, get players in the box, get the ball in the box. Sometimes actually stay in your position.
I think especially when they were going to be so rigid, the Ghana team, they didn't care who they were up against, whether they were up against the left back or the right back had come over and was playing left wing. They were just going to play in their position. That's where England confused it a little bit.
OK, let's get some reaction then from the tournament about these 15 players. And perhaps we thought there would be more rigidity, and maybe 2 changes today was something of a surprise. There maybe will be more changes for Panama as well.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're understanding. They're prepared for this tournament to go all the way. Today was obviously difficult, but they've got all the answers. They've got everything they need. But that is why we see over here with the...
There's a counter-attack there, isn't it, Joe? I mean, when you're talking about it, and this is what I said before the game, Gabby, in terms of, I was just a little bit worried that we get too confident in situations there. That could have been a foul. Prince goes through, and it's a little bit too easy. I know we want to risk now because Tuchel's involved, but you see here then, they're trying to have the rotations here with Eze, Madueke and O'Reilly, but then it becomes very sloppy. If he loses the ball here, you've got to think, where is the danger? All the space in here, and now you in an attacking position, you find yourself 4 and 4 at the back. And if England want to go forward in this position, they've got to sort this out. Yes, they're chasing the game. We know they're chasing the game. They're trying to score the goal, but you still need that protection behind you. And on another day, that could have been a penalty.
Yeah. We're going to have another look at it because Darren Cairns joined us in the studio. I think you were all a little bit surprised that there wasn't an on-pitch review of that decision, Darren.
Yes, I agree, Gabby. We had our hearts in our mouths when we saw Esri Konsa make that challenge. First and foremost, as an England fan, I'm absolutely delighted that it wasn't given. But I have to be honest, for me, this should have been referred to the referee. Konsa makes no contact at all with the ball. He brings down his opponent. You can see it perfectly from this angle. He's airborne, he's out of control, he makes contact with the attacker and no contact with the ball. For me, this is a penalty kick. We've had 7 penalties in this World Cup so far. I'm very glad that wasn't an 8th.
Darren, is that getting overturned if he gives it?
I think that's the dilemma for the VAR, Joe. In this tournament, most of the time, they've gone with the on-field decision. We had one last night with the Argentina game where it was overturned, but the general thrust of the tournament is such that they'll stick with the on-field decision unless it's clearly wrong.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Well, there were certainly more chances as the game progressed and the game opened up a little bit for England, and the better of those chances came really in the last 10 minutes or so. Yeah,
well, I think introducing Saka onto the pitch, it always makes a difference, and everyone's been crying out for him to play more minutes. But you can see Ghana there in that low block and freed up and this is a quality. As soon as he come on the pitch, he's dynamic. You know what he's going to do, but it's very hard to stop it. And it's a good save from the goalkeeper. But this is what you need from your subs when they come on to try and make a difference. And there was an ascendancy at this point in the game, and then the chances came again. O'Reilly, who comes in these positions here, we've seen so many times for Man City. Then Kane, if there's one person you want in that position, with his technique, his form, everything, confidence, you just think he's going to put it away. And then Gay, it's sort of the last one. It might have been going wide. It looks like on that angle it was off the line, but good defending from the defender there. But you just see there was really trying to take it to Ghana in the end, but it was just a bit too late.
But I said this at half-time, when a team sits in a low block, you have to cross the ball, because the first one, the Saka chance comes from a Rashford cross, pick up the second ball, you get a shot. The next 2 chances there from crosses, it unorganises teams, and it's very difficult to defend against. And